Yes, good afternoon, everyone. The Indian High Commission and all distinguished guests who are gathered here. This morning, the High Commissioner led a team from the High Commission, and we joined as a university community led by the Chancellor, Figura Tanzi. We gathered at the statue of Gandhi, which is placed at the University of Nairobi, next to what we call the Gandhi Wing. So as a university community, we are what we are because of the input and the values, the ethos that were brought about by this great man. We celebrate the birthday today, as we also celebrate the United Nations Non-Violence Day. I am happy that even today also we are releasing a new stamp. And I remember when we were growing up as young people in the village, I think we started doing the letters later when we would go to the post office and buy a stamp to send a letter. But sometimes we would send them through the matatus to reach someone in Nairobi or other places. And I would imagine that the stamp, to a large extent, also represent those messages that you'd like to say to a loved one, or you'd like to communicate. And to a large extent, it's very difficult to communicate the violence in a letter. So this sending a letter in a stamp is really messages of love and hope and non-violence. So I think this coming together in this day, launching this stamp, I think really it is reflecting some of those values that we need to have. We think, when we think about our own country, we see on TVs violence, whether it's in the political arena, whether it is in churches, we need violence in families. And I think this gathering, all of us gathered here, is just to try to reflect as a reminder to all of us as we think of Gandhi and what he taught, that all of us should desist any attempt for violence, and that we remember this day also in passing messages of hope and encouragement to others, and working with others rather than and explaining to them what we mean on something rather than beating them. And you know, the university, and there has been a lot of talk here about truth. You know, university, all scholars and students, really they are always in the business of searching for truth. There's nothing else that's done there. As you're seeking for that knowledge, is to know what is the truth as the researchers are working. And we join, therefore, we confluence on this, all of us, as people, even as symbolized by Gandhi, that it is important to work for truth. Sometimes back, I met a bishop and I was asking, how is it when you work in the northern Kenya and those other places where people do cattle rustling? They go steal. They don't carry it stealing, but you go and pick cows from the neighborhood and take them and make them your own. And perhaps when you get home, then your wives, if you have many, or your wife, and the others are celebrating. And perhaps in the process, you also hurt other people. I think we need to reflect, even on this day, that some of those practices must come to an end, so that we always and only stand for non-violence practices. May we remember this day and the Gandhi and the United Nations Day. God bless you.